Podcast.
Podcast.
250 reasons at gmail.com.
That's a cool jingle. 250 reasons at
Opinions,
gmail.com.
spoilers, and bad language. Here we go now. Welcome to 250 Reasons to Stay Indoors. I'm Jordan.
I'm Keiran.
And this is the podcast where we will be watching the IMDb 250 top films. We will be saying stuff about them and letting you know whether it's worth staying indoors for or not.
And today we are going to be watching the film Stalker.
Stalking through the night.
You are the person that has all the information, Jordan.
I am, yeah.
You totally dropped me in it.
This film is from 1979, and at the time of recording, which is now, it is number 193 on the list. So, Keiran, have you got a prediction for us?
Yeah, I think, infactually...
Infactually?
Whoa!
Oh,
wow.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's speechless. He's literally
oh my
just
God.
Like, ripped a hole in his own vocabulary.
Oh, wow.
Factually.
I am so keeping that. You heard it here first. Okay.
Does that mean it's like not a fact?
No. Okay. All right. I'm now going to define what infactually means.
Okay.
So you've already set a precedent of what something is.
Mm-hmm.
But then you're saying, whereas in fact, or you're saying, but actually. So instead, you can combine the two and say, in factually.
Yeah, okay. So it's when you're sort of
contradicting something.
You're contradicting something with a fact.
No, it doesn't have to be. So what I was going to say is many people think that it will be about an actual stalker, someone who follows someone in the night, for instance. Whereas in fact, but actually, it's about something else.
Right.
And so, here it is. I'll give you an example of how to use the word infactually.
Mm-hmm.
Many people might assume that the film Stalker is about someone who follows people. Maybe in the night. Maybe they follow just one person. Infactually, I think it's about someone called Simon Talker, who is just a really, really good talker. That's their stage name, and they're like a chat show host. So it's what's tricky about this film is that it's more about where you put the full stop. So it could be Stalker full stop, and then there's a film about Stalker, or it could be Simon Talker, so as in S Talker. It could be a film about Saint Orca.
Yeah.
And I mean, Saint Orca did a lot of great things. Patron saint of hikes.
Yeah.
And gooseberries.
Yeah.
Saint Orca.
Mm-hmm.
Heard it here first. What do you think Stalker's about?
Gonna be boring. I think it's about a guy that does stalking, but with a twist. I reckon that this person actually turns out to have been stalked whilst doing the stalking, and it's actually we're watching it through the eyes of the stalker.
What?
Yeah.
So like we are the stalker.
We're the stalker. Yeah.
Whoa.
So we're watching a film about a stalker, but then it turns around the last minute and it's just a creepy guy's face. It's like we were watching all along.
Whoa! Just the camera, just the cameraman just looks in the mirror.
Yeah.
Hi. Like, hey, it's you,
Simon Talker here.
Hey, nice.
No, I hope it's a really creepy face. Like that would be really cool. Like slowly panning around, and then it's just like some weird man with like red and like purple eyes spiraling and a long pointy nose, and it's just like a big cheesy grin, and it's just like he's got patchy faces, and it's all like flaking off. And it's rotten, and he's got like maybe purple juice coming out of his
Purple
mouth.
juice
Because he's eating some weird sort of fruit that's made him crazy.
Okay, yeah. I hope it's not that, because is this going to be a horror film, Jordan?
I hope so.
Oh no!
I really, really hope so.
Oh,
I'm due one. Okay, so let's go and watch the film now, yes?
You're Jew number one. Is that what you just called yourself?
I'm Jew.
I'm Jew one.
No, I'm... Really?
Yes. Really?
Really, Kieran?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go watch the film.
Okay. Fast forwards, here we go. Dark.
Russian. Did I take your one word?
That was literally it. Dark and Russian was all I had.
Bleak.
Crap.
Wet.
One
more word, Jordan.
Wasteland.
Okay, I mean, yeah, fine. I'm just going to say, knapsack.
Okay, Kieran. So give me a 15-second picture of the film. Are you ready?
It's
3, 2,
okay.
1, go.
3 guys in Russia walk around and discover this place where people have been disappearing. They just walk and walk and walk, and apparently they're just trying to avoid traps. And then they go back. They don't even go into this room where your dreams can come true. And they come back, and apparently the kid at the end can move things with her mind.
1846.
Fuck's sake.
I'm impressed that you even managed to find 18 seconds to sum up this film.
Because all it really is 3 guys go walking, and that's it.
It's going to be really hard for me not to just do beefs throughout this whole thing, because it was... I don't think I have... I don't think I have a positive thing to say about this film.
Well, I've got a very few things that are positive about this film. But
okay, do you want to do them first?
No, I want to do the synopsis first, because that's what we do.
That is what we do, you're right. Okay.
So, we're in Russia, and it's quite a long time. Well, a long time ago. It's 1979.
Did it establish a time, though? Because I know it was filmed in then.
No, at no point during the incredibly long credit sequence did it ever say at the beginning what time it was. But I'm just kind of assuming that it's in a time where there was basic technology, because they were saying how technology was evolving and stuff. Anyway, so we're in Russia, and it's not particularly cold, it's not particularly warm. Anyway, that's irrelevant. And there's a man, we're going to call him the Stalker, and he lives with his wife, I think, and his
child
and his daughter. And it's super bleak in this house.
Yeah.
Super bleak in the whole environment, really industrial kind of vibe. They establish soon that there is a place nearby where some time ago, not too recently, not like hundreds of years ago, but some time ago, something landed in Russia, which they're like, was it a meteorite?
Yeah.
Was it whatever? Anyway, they sent the troops. This is all the information that you actually need for this film. They put in text, like at the start of Star Wars.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah. So
and it is one of those where it's so old that you can almost tell it's actually just on a reel being rolled around. I don't know if you call that.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they say that, is it a meteorite? Who knows? But what they did is they sent all the troops there. Troops never came back. So they set up this police guard around the whole place.
And this place is now called The Zone.
It's called The Zone. So this guy goes to this bar, and there's 2 people there at the bar who want to go into The Zone. That's my understanding.
Yeah.
One of these 2 people is a writer. The other person is a professor.
I'm just going to clarify it. Writer, not rioter, because the way you said that was just a bit odd.
Okay. I can't really do an instant replay, but I will correct myself. Writer. How did that sound? Is that okay?
And a professor.
And a professor. So you got writer, professor, and stalker.
Yeah.
And they keep pretty much these 3 names the whole time.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
They go into the zone.
Mm-hmm.
They walk through the zone.
Mm-hmm.
Try to avoid a bunch of traps, which we don't even know are even there.
Yep.
And they're trying to look for this room.
Yes.
Okay. And in this room, apparently all of your wildest dreams and desires come true.
Yeah. It grants wishes.
They don't go in the room.
No.
And at this point, you spent 2 hours watching these people walk around this foresty kind of place.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're back into the little village outside of the zone.
The little bar that they were.
The little bar
they were originally in.
We discover they didn't go in.
Yeah.
Guy goes home.
Yeah.
And
he's very distressed
and
that they didn't want to go into the room.
Yeah. And this guy, he's really, really annoyed. Now, something that we didn't mention earlier is that I'm going to say at the 1 hour, 50-minute mark, it's somewhat established that the kids of stalkers are weird. Yeah. So stalkers already are... Okay, so what a stalker is apparently in this film is someone who goes inside the zone, they understand the zone. and they kind of get it.
And they're what was it? They're like cursed to keep on going back, is what they say.
Something like that. And the kids of stalkers, apparently they're supposed to be really weird. Now, his wife does a shot to camera where she just deadpans the camera,
smokes a cigarette, looks at you, and
gets real emotional. Talking about her relationship with this guy, saying a bittersweet happiness is better than a dull life, or something like that.
Yeah.
And she knew that she was going to have a weird daughter.
Yeah.
Now, and then, okay, so we've gone through this whole thing. They walked for bloody ages. They come back. They're in this bar, and these guys really distressed that they didn't want to go into the room. And then the film ends with his daughter telekinetically moving glasses across the table.
Absolutely.
Film ends.
Yeah.
So the one twist in this film is that right at the beginning of the film, the stalker, his wife, and his kid are in bed. They're all sleeping in the big same bed. And there's a glass that's moving across this chair that's next to the bed.
I didn't even put that together.
And you understand that the glass is moving because then a train comes.
Yeah.
And then the whole chair like really, really, really rocks and everything moves. And so like, I guess it was moving because the train. But actually, it was a combination of the two.
Yeah.
The girl was moving it with her mind, and also the train. That is the only thing. And so the film could just be summed up. You could just take out the whole thing when they walk into the zone.
Yeah.
Just have the start bit, and then right at the end when she moves glasses with her mind. That's all it is.
So basically, long story short, there's a guy who can take people to this zone. There's two guys that want to go to the zone. They go to the zone. They get to the room. They decide they don't want to go in the room anymore. They come back. Film ends.
What I don't like about what you just did there, Jordan, is you let me do a really bad 15-second pitch.
Yeah.
Then we did the whole synopsis.
Yeah.
And then you did a way better 15-second pitch.
Yeah, it's going to be my new segment. It's called Jordan Sums Up Better Than Keiran. Using the information Keiran just gave him.
Wow.
It's a long segment. I need to make it more catchy.
Yeah. Screw that name. That sucks. And
Jordan screws over Kieran's segment. No?
Well, in any case, I feel like you're capitalizing over my, shittiness.
I think my point was I was just trying to get across that literally nothing happens in this film.
Yeah.
I just really want to cement that. I don't. Oh, Matt, yeah, again, it's hard for me to not just instantly start going into beef. So if you've got anything that you want to say that's positive, say it now or forever hold your peace. Well,
do you know about the whole feedback thing where it's like you give some good feedback and then you give some constructive feedback?
Oh, the shit sandwich.
Yeah, the shit sandwich. I wanted to say it a bit more eloquently, but it's a shit sandwich.
Yeah.
I feel like we could do this with this film where I say one nice thing or like the few nice things that there are and then a few nice things at the end.
Mm-hmm. I understand that. The issue with that is that you would then have to find nice things to say about it.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll take care of that.
Oh, okay.
I'll take care of that. I'll take care of that. Okay. So we're going to start with a few bits and bobs that are nice things. Okay. There's a dog in this film.
Yeah, there is a dog in the film.
I think the dog's cool.
Ah, there you go. You found the one thing that I don't have an issue with. That was a cool dog.
Yeah, that was a cool dog.
What kind of dog was it? Do you know?
It was a black dog. But,
exactly.
But
you win the prize, sir. £10 to you.
Bing, bing. Okay, thank you very much. But it wasn't like a big black shaggy dog like Sirius out of Harry Potter. It was like some kind of, I don't know, a neat black dog.
Yeah, it was almost like a sort of black German Shepherd, Alsatian sort of thing.
I know nothing about dog breeds.
Me neither. Those are just the two dogs I know.
Personally, I know these dogs.
Yeah, Jim and Charles.
Wow. Okay. Cool. I know that there are dog breed names.
Yeah.
I couldn't pick them out. So I know what.
Really?
I know what a terrier looks like.
Yeah.
I know what Dalmatian looks like.
That's 2.
Dachshund.
Yeah, that's 3.
I wouldn't be able to tell you what a Labrador looks like. I know what a poodle looks like.
4.
Newfoundland.
5.
Pug.
6.
Chihuahua.
7.
And I think I'm spent. I think I'm done.
You can't make 10.
So I can name other breeds, but I can't tell you what they look like.
Okay.
So I don't think that counts.
To be fair, that's probably about my limit.
Okay. All right. You go.
I mean, okay.
All of the ones I just said.
All the ones you said. No, I don't know what a New England was. That Newfoundland.
It's a fucking bear, mate. It's a bear.
Oh, what's the Benedict? Why am I saying Benedict Cumberbatch? Bernard, Saint Bernard.
Saint Bernard.
Those are the ones that, like in the cartoons, used to have the medicine thing on it around its neck. Did you watch Looney Tunes? Anything
What?
Like that? No.
No, I don't know what you're talking
about. No.
What's the one? What's Lassie from the film that I also haven't seen?
Oh my god.
Is she a Saint Bernard? I don't know.
No, I don't know.
I don't know. What's Toto? Terrier, surely.
I don't know what Toto is. No.
Banned from the 80s. Okay. Anyway, so the dog was. Thank you. So the dog was cool. The dog was cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So.
But I like dogs, so that's not fair.
Okay. All right. A different one.
Okay. Go.
A cool thing.
Yeah.
So the one cool thing at the top of this here.
Do it.
Is that a lot of the Russian arguments were very calm. So I feel like a really good argument in Russian is a very calm one because they just fire shots with no real actual meanness in the voice. The worst it gets is like, oh,
okay. So the actual dialect was calm, not the words used.
No, the words
not the
were
content of what was being said, but the
intonation.
Yeah,
the intonation was chilled.
Okay.
Whereas like when I gave that excellent impression of a Russian person being slightly a bit annoyed but not raising his voice too much, that's the most it got to in those calm.
Yeah, I mean, one of the only positive things I could probably say is that I found the character, the writer, quite compelling. He had a lot of interesting things to say. It was quite not introspective, quite. Well, just a lot of thought and interesting things. In as much as, like, with Before Sunrise, they had, like, quite a few interesting ideas and stuff like that was kind of, that sort of tickled my pickle. But
tickled your pickle?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
can we go into beefs fully? Like, because I feel like this is one of my beefs.
Okay. So when you want to go into beefs, we'll just do that. But when I want to go into beefs, we have to do this whole multi-layered sandwich where...
Well, we did the first part now, we're going into it now.
Okay, right. Now we're in beefs.
Yeah.
Fuck this film. Oh my God.
Right?
I literally came out of that film with bags under my eyes and like I wasn't even tired. Like it was just it felt so hard to watch. Because each scene was so drawn out, I'm just feeling like during each scene, I just feel like, why is it still going?
I was trying really hard, just to stay with it.
Yeah. At one point, I felt like I might be starting to fall asleep, and I was like, okay, how far into this have I got? Half an hour, Keiran. Half an hour.
Yeah, it's one of them ones. I started watching it really late one night, and I had prepared like some dinner, and I'd prepared like some dessert. So
nice glass of wine.
I'd hooked myself up with some cool stuff, but I kept spilling everything. So I kept spilling my dinner. I had this tub of rice. It was part of the dinner, but I had more rice. I'd cooked more rice.
Yeah.
I've spilt rice everywhere, and it was all taking longer. So I was due to begin like 45 minutes before I actually started watching it. And I think that was the universe telling me, don't fucking watch this film. Don't do it, especially not tonight. It's not worth it. And also, if I'd have started...
Keiran, you are a notorious faffer.
I am a notorious faffer, which is actually the original name of the Notorious B.I.G. Did you know? But also, I feel like this was like everything that was happening was not my fault. The first thing that went wrong, like I spilt a bit of water on the thing. I was like, oh, okay, no big deal. But then after I'd spilt rice completely accidentally twice, and I also like there was a sugar pot that I was using to get the sugar out of, because that's what you do with sugar pots usually. And I was moving it from one place to another, and I was like, it would be really, really dumb after spilling all of these things if I dropped this sugar pot. And I swear to you, I was trying so hard to just put it on the surface, and the bloody thing dropped everywhere.
Oh,
and this was in the middle of the film. And I was like, okay, I'm done. I'm going to bed now. And so I had to watch it in 2 parts.
Yeah, you cut it up. I was considering that, to be honest. I got maybe an hour and a half in, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this again. because it's essentially almost like a 3-hour film. I was like 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I got an hour and a half in and I was like, I don't know if I can do this. But I was like, I don't want to have this film ruin 2 days. I'd rather it just ruin this one. So I'm going to stick with it.
I want to give a bit more context for what constitutes this being such a ridiculously long, drawn-out film. First of all, right at the top of the film, you've got like the longest fucking credits.
9 minutes and 50 seconds, I believe, without a single word being said in this film.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Jesus. And I think a solid 6 minutes, I'm going to say, was all credits. None of which you can understand apart from like two things, which is the word Stalker and then directed by the guy who directed the film, something Ovsky. And I mean, it is. I'm
pretty sure it was Tchaikovsky.
No, that's a composer.
Yeah, I mean, it's a last name, Kieran. People can have the same last name.
You're correct. It could. I did look at it and I was like, oh, that's interesting. And anyway, so all of these credits you can't understand. There's like no sound going on, and there's nothing really happening visually. It's just nothing much.
Oh, really? Because I thought the sound at this, maybe with the opening credits, but
it was some trippy ass music which wasn't really going anywhere.
That happened right at the start of the film. I was like, okay, this is, you know what, like. Not sure if I was into it, but like being open-minded, I had a bowl of popcorn, I had a beer, I was sitting down, I was nestled, I was ready. I was like, oh, weird music, black and white, moody. Okay, this is a bit of Jordan. Okay, all right, no, I'm in for it. And it just went downhill from there.
And also, in every single scene, you have a zoom. There is almost every single scene, you have a zoom to either a real close-up or just to a group of people.
Yeah.
And the zooms are like the longest fucking zooms you've ever seen in your life. Like the longest. I was scrolling through just to try to find my place when I revisited it the next day. And as I was scrolling through the film, I realized. So you see how there's like a little preview box on the bottom of the bar, yeah.
Yeah.
And all it was like maybe like in a half an hour chunk, there were like 5 different pictures.
Yeah.
But all just zoomed in, but taking a very long time to zoom over minutes and minutes and minutes. And it's just absurd. Okay, one thing I did like, just quickly, was the fact that they were taking one scene was just like one take. So that was cool, but it didn't mean that everything just felt so drawn out.
Yeah.
Because there were no cut points.
Scene. They like worked it from multiple angles, in as much as like, you know, what was said and like how the guys interacted with each other, and you know that sort of thing. I feel like it was definitely dragged out, but I don't think the intention was for it to feel so dragged out, obviously. But yeah, that's how it felt.
I felt like it was some kind of a film school. Like I reckon all the film geeks, I reckon they get off in it.
There's something that the director said was the point of the film was to make it feel like it was an entire experience. I'm murdering what he said. It was about the actual experience of the whole collective, not one particular like a goal or anything. It was about the whole thing. But no, I didn't feel that.
What do you mean the whole thing?
Exactly. It sounds like, I mean, again, I'm murdering the quote. I'll probably find it and then I'll post it. But
if what he's saying is we wanted you to feel like you were on set and actually walking with us, in as much as come spend the 2.5 hour trip with us, come actually do that walk with us, apart from being there, then I think he achieved that. But everything else, like I just feel like it was nah.
Yeah, no, I mean, there was one scene where they're on the trolley. So basically they've got to get into the zone. It's so stupid. To get into the zone, they've managed to get some sort of car. I think the professors managed to get a car, and it's got the top down. That was important that there was like he'd taken the roof off.
Was that important?
Yeah, it was. And I'll tell you why in a second. So that it was important they had the roof down. They're going through this dusty old street, and I have to give it to him that his driving of that vehicle was impressive, because
the roads were fucked.
Yeah, it looked like, how do you drive on that? It was the noisiest car, and there was like some sort of policeman patrolling the streets, and for some reason they weren't allowed to be out in the streets, so they're sort of hiding and just driving around corners cautiously. what's happening is there's a train coming, and they're following the train into the zone, it seems, or like sort of they're following the train onto a portion where they can get into the zone, because there's a military sort of blockade where they only let the train through. It's a heavily guarded situation, and what they do is they just wait for the train, and then they follow the train in, and then all of these people start shooting at them. Classic, like they can't hit anything.
Of course.
Like let's not
In
forget,
this convertible car.
yeah, they've got the top down. So the reason they have the top down was because there's one portion. In fact, you know what? Now that I think about it, there was no reason for the top down. They drove under one little pipe at one point when they get into like this sort of, they're following the tracks, and it goes into what I imagine is maybe like a station, a disused station, where they would change the tracks and stuff like that. And there's just like a one sort of pipe thing that they drive under, that it's just small enough to get under without the roof. But then they pretty much get out the car after that and walk to the trolley. So my point is, they get to this trolley and they're taking this trolley into the zone. It's one of those like push trolleys on rails that you see in like old films and stuff.
Except
like that.
it's got a motor on it.
Except it's got a motor, but it is like that sort of, yeah. That scene, I swear to God, was like 5 minutes just going between each person's face and them just looking at the surroundings. So you'd see the stalker and he's just looking out like, oh, okay, we're going this way. This is interesting. Okay. All right then. And then it would pan over to the writer, and the writer's going, okay, this is uncharted territory. This is quite interesting. I'm not sure. And then it'd pan over to the professor, and the professor's like, I'm very knowledgeable, but I'm not quite sure about any of this. And it would just do the same thing over and over and over again.
I tell you what it felt like. It felt like a 2 hour, 45-minute version of Train Spotting.
Have you seen Train Spotting?
Yes, I have actually.
Okay.
And what there is in that...
I was about to say, is that just what you imagine Train
No,
Spotting is?
no. The reason why I felt like it was a longer version of Train Spotting is that they have like real moments in that film. They have a few funny moments in Train Spotting.
Yeah.
But then there are some moments where it's just silent, just looking at the bleakness of the surroundings and having close-ups on their faces.
Yeah,
and
I get
that allows you to kind of get the characters some more. Whereas there was just so much of that in this film, and it was like a crazy amount of that in this film, and it's frustrating because every single scene that I was so bored of after a minute, and like I felt like the whole thing when they were in the pipe. They're in this pipe and they're walking the whole length of the pipe, and it's a real. There's no cut, like really at all.
Well, other than when he turns around to look at them following him. So basically, he'd go. One person had to go first, and the others would follow.
Yeah,
and so he'd sort of walk a little bit further into this pipe,
and then they
he'd
all scuttle behind him.
Turn around, and then he'd see them just sort of coming around the corner, cautiously looking at him, and then they'd just rinse and repeat.
So this whole thing, we're actually doing this journey in real time.
Yeah.
Essentially, the whole of this trip, we're almost doing the whole thing in real time.
Yeah.
That's
if
what it
the
feels
goal
like.
was, then okay, you've achieved that. I feel like I've been on a long journey.
But if I wanted to do that, I'd just go for a walk.
If I wanted to do that, I definitely want to fucking go in the room.
Well, okay. This is the thing. So I felt so fucking annoyed. My biggest beef with this film is that there is not, first of all, there's not enough of a hype of going into the room, and we don't know about what the room is until like at least an hour in. It's like, oh, there's a room that exists where your dreams come true. Okay, well that's new. We didn't know about that.
No.
And then when it comes to the point where they're like, oh, let's go into the room. Oh, let's not go into the room, and they don't go into the room. What was the fucking point of this whole journey? What did we do that for?
Yeah, I mean, right.
And it's so unceremonious.
So the professor, his entire plan was to blow up the room, because the room can apparently grant wishes
in the wrong hands.
Yeah, the room can grant wishes, and he feels that if something like that exists in the world, if it were to fall into the wrong hands, then that would be disastrous, and he can't sleep if he knows that that is a thing.
Right.
So he decides he's going to blow up the room. The writer is going to go first, but he has figured out that actually, I mean, how has he figured? There's so many like long conversations, drawn out conversations about people's experiences with the room that the stalker sort of gives. And the writer is saying that, well, actually, it seems like maybe the room doesn't give you what you wish for audibly, like what you ask for is what your innermost desires are, and you don't necessarily have any say over what that is. You can't control what your innermost desires are. And he's saying, I don't really want that because I'm not sure my innermost desires are going to be anything particularly nice. Or I think he was saying like his innermost desire would probably be that to write, and he doesn't like writing anymore. He's such a complex character. Basically, he just makes the room sound shit. And the idea of it being your innermost desires, this then to the professor goes, well, okay, well, it doesn't really matter about blowing it up then, I don't think. I'm not really that fussed. I'll just throw this bomb away. And then they just sit there and they don't go in. And that's it. And that scene, Kieran, I did not like that scene because they sit there and it pans out and it changes colour. And it goes to like the sepia, black and white. Sepia, I don't know. Whatever. I thought you'd get upset.
Sepia? It's sepia.
Sepia. It goes to that, and then it just sort of, it starts to fade away, and then it goes back to the original colour, and then it stops. After literally maybe 5 minutes of just seeing these guys sitting here. It's too long. I don't need to see that for that long.
It was way too long. The only thing that I liked about that was that I was like, oh, credit to them. They're doing, like, they're really living this. It's I tell you what it was. It was like I was watching a play. Yeah. Because in plays, you don't have cut points apart from blackouts. Like within a scene, you don't have cut points, do you? Yeah. It's like a scene happens and it's a whole scene. So in this film, like scenes happened and there was a whole scene and there's no cut points, and there's a certain magic to that. It's nice, it's cool, but it's just way too much.
Yeah.
Can we skip to something, because I feel like we could just talk about how bored we were about this film for a while.
Yeah.
But I
do want to talk about the traps.
Oh, okay. Go for that.
Because I feel like that's quite an integral part to the journey and what's going on there.
Okay.
That's why the stalker is there, no?
What, to discover?
To an element, to a degree, because the stalkers...
to guide them?
Yeah, the stalkers are the guides. They know how to avoid the traps.
Okay, go for it.
Because the zone will kills people. Apparently, people die in the zone. They go missing. And it's a very complex place. It's a place that nothing makes sense. No one goes in one... No, there's no one way to the room. You can't go the same way, and you can't come back the same way.
That's right.
Whatever you do, it has to be apparently random, but adhering to the very specific rules of the zone. These traps, I feel like I needed to see something that really showed me that there was an element of danger.
Yes, but on the other hand, I think what maybe the filmmaker was doing, at the risk of trying to sound like I'm actually know what I'm talking about, I reckon the filmmaker was like, well, if we show them that there is that there is actually a trap, then we're telling everyone that this place really exists. Because I think the point of this whole thing is that we still don't know if this place really exists.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
There was the one bit right at sort of the start when they first started getting on with their journey, because the stalker makes the point of saying that the room is actually quite easy to get to. Like, it's quite close.
200 meters.
Yeah, but you can't walk straight there. You have to walk around. Ryder's like, fuck that. I'm just going to go. And he's like, don't go. And he's like, nah, I'm going. So he goes, and then he stops. Someone tells him to stop. No?
Yeah.
But it was neither the stalker nor the professor. It's just sort of like he hears someone say stop.
Mm-hmm.
And then he turns around because he's sort of scared and comes back.
So I guess there is proof that actually this place is some kind of magical whatever.
Right. And then when they turn around, there's smoke everywhere.
Yes.
So it was a gas trap. Maybe it was a budget thing. I don't know. I just feel like that was really one of the only times when there was like a real sense of a danger, and it didn't really make much sense and just looked kind of crap.
Also, so they go through this big pipe at one point, which is like the mincer, whatever they call it, meat mincer, some horrible, horrific
so
place.
You're coming up to the next part when there was something that actually felt like an actual trap or something happened, right?
Yeah. With all those little sand dunes.
Yeah.
Okay, so what happens is they go through this thing, and so the writer is first, and he comes out of the bloody meat...
Door,
it comes out the
pipe.
and the stalker's like, wait there, outside the door,
go anywhere,
don't move. And this is just a classic this is a classic case of people in films just not doing as they've been told, and it creates issues in the film.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the stalker comes out of the door and he realizes that the writer's just fucked off.
Yeah.
And the writer's like somewhere in the distance. And what this place looks like, all right, I'm going to paint a picture in your mind, listeners. Imagine a really big, you don't have to make a noise, but that's fine. Imagine a really big hall. And on the side of this hall, there's like a few pillars, a few columns.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like in my head. Now this is a big ass hall. Like the people on the other side of the hall, like they're small. So this is a big fucking hall. Anyway, like a football field kind of hall. Anyway, so on one side of the hall, you've got the stalker and the professor.
Jinx, touch wood, you can't talk now.
Come on.
I'm joking. Sorry, go on.
Cheers. Now, on the other side of the hall, you've got the writer. Now, we find this hall, for instance, in the writer's there on one side of the hall, and he's like fucking lying down in this puddle of water, because there's bloody water everywhere in this place, by the way. There's in this puddle of water. And on the other side of the hall, you've got the stalker and the professor who are saying, why the fuck did you go away? But in the middle of this hall, this massive length, this football field kind of length of hall, there's all of these really small, like imagine like road bumps, but all sand dunes. Like they were all these little sand dunes.
Yeah.
And so it makes me think, all right, well, that looks like it's some kind of a temple, or it looks like that could be in an Egyptian pyramid.
Yeah.
Some kind of Indiana Jones shit where there's going to be little spooky things in all of these sand dunes, because that's not naturally occurring, especially in the environment that the rest of the zone is in.
Yeah.
So this looks like it's deliberate. But there is no repercussion for him even being there. The only thing that happens, which is a bit weird, is when the fucking writer talks to camera. Why is the dude talking to camera when he does his little monologue and he throws a rock into like some kind of tank, and it takes like half a minute to actually fall onto the ground and at the bottom of this well.
Yeah.
And at the bottom of this well, it sounds like there's a bloody piano at the bottom of the fucking well.
Yeah.
Because it just goes boom, but like as if it's actually hitting the low notes of a piano. What the fuck's going on?
Yeah.
There's no explanation for it, and it just moves on as if it's no big deal. So there's no repercussion for them even being there. There's not an actual trap. We can tell there's something going on, but there's no explanation for it.
It's like as if, imagine the director, you're watching the film, the director comes into the cinema, he hands you a rock, and he says, hold on to this rock, it's significant, and then leaves. And you're just left there going, well, this is significant, but I don't have any sort of understanding as to why.
Mm-hmm.
I've just been told that this is somewhat, is it important? Is that the same thing?
Mm-hmm.
Something has happened here, but I don't understand, and I feel like maybe they don't understand.
This is dumb as hell.
Yeah. So one thing I would point out was I don't think the writer was immediately on the floor in the puddle of water.
Oh, he fell to the floor. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So what? First of all, with all these bumps in the sand, I'm thinking landmines. Classic trap. Here we go. We've got closest to the room. Now the traps are real. Mm-hmm. Now it's some real hardcore shit.
Sounds about right.
Right. So he's walking, and I'm thinking like, oh no, he's not supposed to go anywhere. He's not supposed to, like, you've got to navigate the landmines, of course. No, he's just walking, and then a bird flies halfway across the screen, cuts, and reappears at a different point, flies, and then we cut to him, and he's on the floor in a puddle.
Okay, so I remember now. So there is some funny business in this room.
Yeah.
But it's still like, well...
This is what I mean.
What the fuck?
What even was that? Because he didn't die. And what? Oh.
Okay, I feel like we just need to go past all of this stuff and come to my one big beef at the end.
Yeah, go for it.
So Monkey is what I presume is the colloquial name what's the word? Pet name.
Pet name, yeah.
And funny because it's Monkey.
She's not actually called Monkey.
No,
that's
what I'm
Stalker's
saying.
daughter.
Okay, so the Stalker's daughter is that he calls her Monkey.
Mm.
And right at the end of the film, she moves glasses with her mind.
Yeah.
So, initial thoughts, Jordan. What's going on there?
Well, clearly, she's got superpowers
Right.
because the Stalker has been in the zone.
Mm-hmm.
As we all know, there's some funny business in that place.
So, because we don't know where this guy comes from, where the Stalker comes from. Don't know what his attachment is to the zone,
No.
but we know he has some attachment to the zone.
Yeah.
And because she's his kid,
Yeah.
naturally she has superhuman abilities.
Yeah.
Okay.
As if that doesn't make sense to you. I'm kidding. That's bullshit. What the hell, man? When that happened, I was like, nah, done.
I think
I'm so glad that this film is almost over because no.
it's just ridiculous.
I just want to add a dose of realism to the very idea that their daughter can move stuff with their mind, her mind.
Yeah.
They're living in a place where they have to all share the same bed. It looks very depressing and rubbish. They look very poor. No?
Yeah. Bleak, but spacious.
They have a daughter that can move stuff with her mind. The possibilities are almost endless. Why is everyone sad? Rob a bank. Do something with that. Like, as if you can't find something to do with the fact that you can move shit with your mind.
Especially because it didn't look like she was trying really hard to move those glasses.
This is my point, yeah. She didn't
So
look
is she
like
fucking
she was
trained
struggling.
that?
It's not like out of Stranger Things where she's got like the little...
Don't tell me.
nosebleed.
I haven't seen it.
What? No, it's just... It's fine. She... Oh, for fuck's sake.
Thanks.
Nosebleeds. There's none of that. Okay, she's just looking fine and moving. Well, she's not looking fine.
No. Hey,
looking fine, moving
Hey.
stuff with her mind.
Nice. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So, okay, I guess that she might have been seen as some kind of like threat to society and stuff. But surely the professor would be happy to know that, oh, here's this girl, I can get my Nobel Prize now because here we found someone who can move stuff with her mind.
Yeah.
And also, let's get out of poverty. Let's make some money out of this shit.
Yeah, she can't walk apparently. Like she's got crutches. Why not just move your legs with your mind?
That's a bit deep.
No.
Well, this is the argument that I had way back when with Professor X. Like,
Okay,
just
I can't really go back on
mind
that.
yourself
Fair
out
enough,
of being
fair enough.
paralysed. So,
Mind
yeah.
yourself.
So, okay. Oh, by the way, this film's in 2 parts.
Yeah, that's weird.
So
I
it's
think
like
it's just maybe an intermission though. It might just be that they're oldie films.
you know what? I would have really liked an intermission.
I could have done with an intermission. I needed a point where it said, okay, you can go and just sort of collect your thoughts.
Because it just saying part 2 is like, oh, we're here now. Oh, I can't really press pause.
Yeah.
The computer's all the way over there.
I would have expected like a part 3 as well, which was a bit weird. 3-part structure. No, it was just 2 parts. I mean, obviously you could still have a 3-part structure.
I don't know what the 3-part structure is. I don't know what the 3 acts thing. I don't want to know. Don't give a shit. Don't give a shit. I had a few predictions in this film.
Yeah.
And my first prediction was that the professor was going to get killed.
All right.
Spoiler alert, doesn't get killed.
Yeah.
My second prediction was that I bet there's no real room, or it was always there, like it was just around them.
Oh, right.
And then I wrote like underneath, or some bullshit. The bullshit is they don't actually go in the room.
Well, you were spot on there, weren't you? Really?
So there we go. And that's it. Those are all my predictions.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I want to ask a few questions just to make this a bit more interesting. I'm really sorry, you listeners, that you just had to hear us bitch about this. Oh, wait. We need to wrap up the shit sandwich.
Oh, okay.
I got something.
The poetry was nice.
The poetry was nice.
Yeah.
There we go.
There was a couple of bits of poetry. I think the director's father was a poet. And that inspired the writing quite a bit.
Lovely. Okay. So there's... I feel like there's a nice film in here somewhere.
Oh, definitely. The concept is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
The dialogue I found quite interesting.
Yeah.
It was just all way too drawn out.
Yeah. That's pretty much it. It was way too drawn out. Okay. Question.
Go.
If you were someone in this film, who would you be and what would you do?
I would probably be the writer and just go in, because I don't truly understand his reasoning behind not going in. His innermost desire. I mean, he's already got lots of money. He made clear, because he said he could just go back to his mansion. So he's already like well off and fine.
It's because his innermost desire is to write, like you said.
Right.
So his innermost desire is to do something that he's now come to despise, but he can't get rid of his innermost desire because it's his lifelong passion or whatever.
But that
that's his
doesn't make
point.
sense, because if he despises it that much, then surely it wouldn't be his innermost desire anymore.
Well, maybe he despises it as like I'm just sick of it, but he still has a deep love for it.
Oh, I'd be the writer and just kill myself.
Yeah, I didn't like him. I just thought he was a wanker.
I liked him at first. I even wrote a note at the start saying this guy being so like miserable and realistic and like black and white is my spirit animal. When he's talking about the world as triangles, everything is A prime, B prime, C prime. It's all just triangles, and if God is triangles, then I don't really know what to do.
Yeah,
I liked that.
I didn't like.
There was too much of it.
Yeah, there was just way too much of it, especially when he was talking loads of random bullshit to the professor. The professor said very eloquently, "Will you shut up so I can sleep?"
Yeah,
I mean, he didn't say it like that.
That summed up how I felt at that point, I think.
And then he just carried on talking, like, dude.
So, who would you be, and what would you do?
Well, I think it's quite obvious for me, after thinking for about 2 seconds. I'd be the girl and I'd move more shit.
Oh, man, how did I not see that?
Dude, come on.
How did I not see that?
If you're the one person who's got a superpower in the film, come on. You're going to be that person, you're going to move some things. So, I mean, I'd probably do the washing up with my mind.
Oh, my God.
It'd just be nice. It'd just be nice to do some, just to test the water with it, Jordan. Because let's say I'm trying to train myself, Jordan, to do the washing up.
Train yourself with like
it might get a bit messy
throwing
first.
knives and stuff like that
That
outside.
is a terrible idea because you're going to lose all your knives. And then you got no knives to clean and wash up. So I'd rather do the washing up first, and then at least you know what your capabilities are. You know how tidy you can be with it too. So that if you need to do a bank job, Jordan, you know if you're going to be messy or if you're going to be neat with it. So if you can be real neat with it, then you can get away with anything.
But if I practice throwing knives with my mind, I know exactly how many people I can throw knives at in one go and just kill everyone in the bank.
But how are you going to wash the knives so you can remove the evidence? You wouldn't know because you've never done the washing up, Jordan.
The evidence has never touched me, though. So how is it?
But you want to get rid of all of the evidence.
Why do I want to get rid of all the evidence?
Because there's blood everywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
they're like, well, how did this crime get committed? So, okay. So in this world, you haven't told anyone that you have this ability.
Well, fuck it. Even if I did, I could throw knives with my mind. No one can touch me.
So obviously everyone's going to be like, well, we saw you on CCTV. And you're clearly the only person that can...
That's a knife in your head. You questioned me.
Well...
I will be the Supreme Overlord.
No, I don't really think that works, Jordan.
Magic Knife Man.
That is lame.
That is what you will call me.
No, I'm not going to call you Magic Knife Man because you haven't covered all your bases. If someone is watching you on CCTV,
right,
and they're like, "Oh, check that out! The Magic Knife dude is the telekinetic person."
No, Magic Knife Man.
They don't know you as Magic Knife Man. They know you as telekinetic. Shut up! The telekinetic guy from telly is here. Oh, that's cool. He's shit. He's robbing the bank. Oh fuck.
Why am I on TV?
Because you would be if everyone knows that you got this telekinetic force.
I'm smart
you
enough
would be
to
on
know
telly.
that if I'm practicing the ability to throw knives at people's heads, I'm not going to also make myself a celebrity. Like, I'm obvious, and in my mind, I'm doing this from poverty as well. I'm in the back streets in a dark alley practicing throwing knives in my mind. So no one knows me.
You've just contradicted what we said. You were like, fuck it, I don't care.
And then I do that thing, and then people see me on the CCTV that clearly exists back then, and they go, oh, who's this guy throwing knives? It looks like Magic Knife Man in the front page of the press the next day.
But then no one's going to believe it because they're like, you can't throw knives with your mind. So, okay, what you're telling me is that you'd be a criminal.
Yes.
Why is it in every single episode of this podcast that we do, you have to kill someone? I feel like maybe your innermost desire is to okay, tell me about your feelings, Jordan. Okay. Because I feel like there's something that hasn't been addressed maybe in your childhood, Jordan.
I'm
where you need to keep killing people.
I'm sick of the protagonist always winning, you know? Like, I want to see a film
But they
where
don't.
the bad guy wins. For
Yeah,
once. It
Titanic.
just changes.
The iceberg wins.
Oh my god. The bag of ice is an inatomum. Okay?
Oh,
It's an
fuck.
inatomum.
Oh shit! I
Yeah.
never considered that.
No, you didn't.
That changes everything.
Thank you.
Okay,
That's why I feel the need to kill people.
if you were to bring someone into this film,
in theory.
who would you
I
bring?
don't really theorize about killing people.
If you had to bring someone into this film, who would you bring in, Jordan?
Oh, are we going to the section where I bring Will Smith into a film?
Yeah, please.
So I bring Will Smith in.
Okay, from what film?
Um,
Please be a film that I've seen.
See, I want it. Well, this is the point, isn't it? You haven't seen any films.
I've
So it
seen
makes it very
Hancock.
difficult.
I've seen Men in Black 1 and half of Men in Black 2.
Okay, right. Well, I was thinking a character from Men in Black. I believe it's Men in Black 2. It's the guy, but like, right, okay, so it's Will Smith as a different character in Men in Black 2 in this film.
Okay,
This is just how I'm imagining him, basically.
can you describe the character in Men in
So
Black
the
2?
character in the Men in Black, I think it's Men in Black 2. Yeah, it is Men in Black 2.
Mm-hmm.
He's got like a big, tall, like body, and he's actually made, I think he might have been made up of, he's like a dude on like a machine thing when you pull the cloak away. Basically, it's Will Smith, but he's really tall and has got like glasses, and he looks like something out of the Matrix, and he's in the room, and he's the thing that grants the wishes, and he just like cuts through all of their shit, and he's just like comes out, and he's like, no, you've actually come too far now we've got to do this.
Okay,
I'd make him some sort of wish granting wizard dude.
so Will Smith is a genie in this film.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I would be Yoda,
Oh damn, yeah, that's good.
and I would train Monkey to move things with her mind.
Oh, okay. I just pictured Yoda living in the zone.
Oh yeah, Yoda would. That's his.
Oh
that's,
my god, yeah! And
his
then
yard.
the Stalker sends right. So Yoda sends like force bubbles into the
bubbles.
Stalker into the
Okay.
Stalker's mind, telling him to bring his daughter to the zone, or maybe like the Stalker finally cracks and brings his family to the zone,
Mm-hmm.
and then Monkey's getting like weird whispers in her head from Yoda, and she goes astray, and then she finds Yoda, she trains with Yoda, and then she takes down the Death Star.
Okay, I'm not taking the rest of Star Wars into this. I'm just taking Yoda into this. So
Well, in a universe where Yoda exists.
no,
Because
because
that's not the rules. Yeah, we're just taking them out.
we're just taking Yoda. So Yoda would be like, in the zone you are, and she'd be like, sick, let me move that tree, and he'd be like, how this is you do, and then then she'd do it, and then he trains her to move all of the shit. There's some kind of film. There's obviously several training montages, and then there's
Well, that's part 2, isn't it? This is Stalker part 2.
okay, and then there's the point when she's like, oh, do I use this for good or for evil? Do I throw knives with this, or do I do the washing up? And then she's like, well, clearly I'd like to be a reasonable member of society in which I can be organized and take care of myself and my family. So I will do the washing up, but I will also practice carpentry with telekinetically, and I've become a telekinetic carpenter. Fuck, that nearly came out
yourself up
so
for
well.
a really difficult word to say.
Telekinetic carpenter.
Yeah.
There you go. And that's her job.
Okay. Well, that's a really boring waste of the ability to throw knives with your mind.
That's where my imagination goes.
That's.
Because I mean, I don't feel like you can really have a go at me because you want to kill people with throwing swords.
Well, it's just that, like,
Being a librarian would be so easy. You just
you're
mind
picking such boring, dull things to do with an incredible ability.
a shelf stacker. Oh my god, are you kidding?
Oh, you're just taking the piss now.
No, okay. Let me think of a really useful. Do you want a useful job or a cool job for this to be good for?
Well, it has to be cool. No, it's cool because what it is
Dude,
already useful.
A fucking surgeon.
Okay.
would be so badass. You'd have to be hella trained.
Well, yeah, I don't see how that's any different from being a regular surgeon because you're just having to be just as precise
You can
with
sit
your
down.
hands.
You can sit down. That's pretty much it.
So really, all you've managed to achieve is the ability to sit down.
No, she could always sit down, but she can just be anywhere and do the surgery now. Anywhere in the room, so long as she can see it, she can just do the surgery. Okay, surgery is a bad idea.
It's a bad.
Oh, here's a good one.
Okay.
Fireman. For a fire person, you lift up the hose with your mind, put it fucking anywhere you want in the building where that's burning. Just turn the whole thing out. Sorted. You don't have to risk anyone's life. Yeah, you could just all the people that are burning inside that building, just pick them up with your mind and put them on the floor nice and gently. Sorted.
Okay. No, that's fine. That's good.
And Father Christmas, of course.
Okay, yeah.
So Jordan,
Yeah.
would you stay indoors to watch this film?
You know what, Kieran? I wouldn't.
And you know what? Nor would I.
No. Do yourself a favor and go outside.
To the zone.
Mate, actually trying to find the zone would be 10 million times more enjoyable than watching a film about people finding the zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So go outside.
Okay, go outside. Also,
What are we watching next week?
next week we are watching The Big Lebowski.
Yes, we are. I can't wait. That's going to be great.
I don't know what that's about.
I've heard good things about it.
I don't know what's going on. I know that is a film that people have seen.
Yeah.
So, but
It's
then
got quite
that's
a cult following.
well, yeah, I got no idea. But when I say I know that's a film that people have seen, I think people have seen most films, or most people have seen films.
Yes.
So any film that anyone talks about, people have seen them. So I'm not really doing much of a service by saying.
No, you're
I think
saying nothing, essentially.
See you next week.
See ya. Uh, 250, 250, gonna hear 250, do I hear 250 here, 250 here, 250 here, Twitter sold, and it's done. The end of the podcast. Here we go, and we're gonna go to the social media, at 250 reasons on all social media. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Follow us.